I'm here in Seattle, Washington with Brian Glass, who's a Turo host, power host, and co-host who has grown his fleet to nearly 50 cars in an incredibly quick amount of time. This is Brian Glass, and not only is he a member of my course community, the Car Sharing Masterclass, he's an extremely well-respected and accomplished co-host, and he's even garnered the attention from Turo themselves, being recognized on multiple occasions as an exceptional Turo host. And after years of knowing Brian, I decided it was finally time to go out to Seattle to look at his operations in person. What's the makeup of your car? Like all of your cars?
My largest brand is Tesla. Okay. We have 12 Teslas now. We have 4 Subarus. We have 5 Hondas, 5 Nissans, 3 Kias, 2 Land Rovers. Both of my Land Rovers, top dollar earnings, do very well. They're in the top end of my fleet. They both rent well. They have very good utilization. If your goal is to keep a car on the road renting, those are great cars. If your goal is to spend a lot of money on repairs, those are great cars. So Brian does things a little bit unique. While he does have his fleet and his operations out of this house here, which is in Seattle, he does 100% of his vehicles as deliveries, which means that if a car is getting picked up or dropped off by a guest, it is going to be at the airport. So for example, this Chevy Spark right here is about to go to the airport, and so Romain is actually taking photos of it here at the house, and he's gonna go take it to the airport here in a bit. And so not only are these cars that are up here on like the landing of the house, but also these cars that are parked out front. These are basically cars that are waiting for their next rental, which for the most part are gonna be happening either today or tomorrow or in the next couple of days. So this is the HQ of their operations, but no guests actually come here to pick up cars. Brian has a number of people on his team, which I want to talk about here in a few minutes, but first I want to talk about an aspect of Turo that Brian is absolutely meticulous on, and that is cleaning. So we have 2 different terms, clean and wash, right? So when you clean a car, you're cleaning the inside of the car. When you wash a car, you're cleaning the outside of the car, right? So just when we talk about cleaning a car, we're talking about cleaning the inside.
Including both. Is that wash means clean? Also, I'm being serious. Does wash mean clean? If you say, hey, go wash the car, that implies clean the inside of the car.
Wash.
And clean the inside.
No. They're 2 separate things. We don't talk about them together. So when a car gets returned, we clean that car. So the inside of the car is cleaned on return. Yeah. Upon exit, when it's going out to get delivered, it gets washed. We put a floor mat in every single seat that we're going to sit in, generally just the driver's seat. That floor mat kind of indicates the car's been cleaned. Yeah. So if a car's sitting here and you see a floor mat in the front of the car, it's been cleaned. We know that we don't have to do anything. We look in the car, you see the floor mat in the car, it's done, right? So now we're going to be driving here and your dirty feet won't affect the floor mat. So when someone gets in the car, they're not going to see any footprints. Yeah. It will have been as if we just cleaned it right there in the airport. So you're going to sit back on this side?
I can sit on either side. So this is the side with the floor mat on this side?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
sit on that side.
I'm still going to knock my feet together like Dorothy. Just in case.
Yeah. This case, I'm going the long way. I should have gone this way.
Breathe you in as I spin you back around. You have my heart that no one else found, but it's been on my mind that the sun in the sky is.
And we don't put the overheat protection on the Tesla. I would drain this a month, and there's a bag of 200 that lasts a year. I've only bought it twice. So let me put this combination in here. So we're going to take our time on this.
We definitely didn't crinkle them up.
Put those in this. Yeah, I was like. One of my favorite things about visiting Turo hosts is learning how they set up their Turo operations, from where they store their cars, like Brian, who uses a combination of airport and transit parking with interim storage at his rental house turned HQ, how hosts think about extras. For example, Brian has enough car seats to supply a mobile preschool, or how hosts structure their team. For Brian, he has Lawrence and Romain, who handle cleaning cars, airport runs, things like that, a team of virtual assistants, which we'll talk about in a moment, and Celia, Brian's right-hand man, who is no doubt the glue that keeps this all together. And while we spend most of our time in Seattle with Celia and Brian, we did get a chance to learn about how his other team members spend their time too.
I am Lawrence, and I've been working almost about it would be a year in March, right? Something like that. Yeah, I'll say in March. I always like to door handles, everything like people touch. I like to sanitize everything because all-purpose cleaner. Yeah, it does it all. So after the clean, this is the final deal.
So is that for the guests?
For us, so if one of us just comes back and cleans the car, and it's going out tomorrow, this is a way of letting them know for the next day that the car is clean.
Okay, so you got air hose on deck.
Good old reliable air hose. I never had to use it yet. I think this is part of it right here.
Yeah.
Connect that. This is the pressure washer, the green rope.
There's like a one,
And
as for the orange, this is just an extension cord as well.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
For the air hose.
For the air
So
hose,
if you just need if a car comes back and they just got dusted on or like a light rain or something, you grab that and you just spray
quick
it
little
off
spray real quick, especially if it hasn't been out for that long.
Yeah.
We
Do you
just
towel dry it? Not even?
Not even.
Yeah, you guys don't have hard water here.
So the brown bear, it usually gets the job done because all of our vehicles, our fleets, we got unlimited. We could wash it anytime. Even before we come back up here, we could like give it a wash and then clean it.
And as any growing Turo host knows, your team is the foundation of your business. And with Brian, he of course has his immediate employees, but there are also a ton of vendors that he taps into as well, like his key guy.
Howdy, Alex. How you doing?
Fine.
So who are you?
Huh?
You're the key guy. You're the main guy for keys.
Fortunately for me, it's not typical. I don't get to see this fine gentleman every week, and that's a good thing because Alex is not cheap, but he is the most reliable key guy I've ever met.
His local repair shop.
We do 95% of our maintenance right here.
Now what about like engine air filter, cabin air filter? Do you just have them tell you what it needs and you do it, or do they do it?
I do that. Tire rotation, my normal oil change tire rotation. And then the passenger side front tire is slowly leaking air.
And of course, his virtual assistants. Now, you guys may remember Alvin out of Jacksonville, Florida. I visited him earlier this year, and he has a team of VAs that he works with that he outsources out to other Turo hosts to help them manage their team. Well, Brian is one of the many Turo hosts that utilizes Alvin's team of VAs. And Brian has credited these virtual assistants as a huge reason as to why he's been able to grow his Turo fleet.
So basically my day, I can start my day however I really need to start my day, like whatever, if they need hands-on help here or I need to be in front of my computer, I could do that. But like really, I don't need to pay much attention to the Turo app. For me, the way I have my system structured is I have our VA starting at 7 a.m. and they end at 1. And I would say that there is 7 VAs total that work in this group. They all appear on the Turo app as one person. So there could be a guest having a conversation over a 3-day period with Riza, who is the VA that shows up in Turo, but they could actually be talking to one of 5 different people in that conversation and never know it, right? From 7 to 1 we have VA. So when I wake up in the morning, 5 a.m. until 7 a.m. I'm kind of alert on the Turo app if anything's happening. And then after that, VAs take over at 7 a.m. I don't need to know what's going on really. I mean, I really don't. Like, Celia will tell me what I need to do. If she needs me to take her to the airport, pick her up from the airport, take a car to the airport, to the light rail station, to the mechanic, I'll help with that. But I don't really have to pay much attention to messages or sending locations for trips. So they do a lot of work, upfront work every day for me. So what they'll do is, so we use a bunch of different apps to do things. So first off, we use like Google Chat. And that's how I chat with VAs, right? So that's our communication method. We use something called Open Phone. Okay, Open Phone is just like a virtual phone line, right? And we use that for texting. So what the VAs do is every day they look ahead at tomorrow's trips. They will set up scheduled messages by text to text the guest when their ID is due. The guest will get a text message at the same time the Turo app is telling them to do their ID. They're going to get a text message alerting them. On top of that, they also will look at all the cars that are returned. Right? So every car that's been returned, they will set up a text message again for those same trips, 2 text messages. One that goes 24 hours after the trip ended and one that goes 72 hours after the trip ended. Both of those messages are asking for a review. As well as the next thing they do is they send over a morning report. So everything that's going to go on for the day, while we could look in the Turo app and scroll and look at our feed in the Turo app and see all the things that are happening, they'll actually give us the status of everything. So they'll tell us every trip that's coming back separately from every trip that's going out. The trips that are going out, They will tell us the trips that aren't checked in yet. They'll put like a logo in the thing showing us what extras there are. So they really give us guidance at the very beginning of the day, and we've come to be very dependent on that. While all this is happening and they're doing all the morning work, they're handling all the messages as well. For my own personal well-being, yeah, like the VAs have made the biggest difference in my life.
One of the ways that Brian has scaled his fleet is through co-hosting, which is when you manage someone else's car on Turo and there's some sort of profit split that takes place. And as someone who doesn't co-host with my own fleet, I've always been curious as to why larger hosts choose to grow through co-hosting rather than growing through buying their own cars. And so I made sure to ask Brian his thoughts on this topic and why he's really leaned into co-hosting over the last couple of years.
I could grow a couple ways. I could borrow money, add my line of credit, add more, a higher credit limit. I could start taking out individual vehicle loans, which is like, in my opinion, the worst thing I could do. It would ruin my own personal credit, and I would never do that. Or I could take out commercial loans for vehicles, which have really high interest rates, and they're not really favorable. And these banks aren't very nice. They're kind of predatory. And then there's co-hosting, which it spreads out that debt over many people.
Yeah.
So one person has 3, 4, 5 cars, 1 car, 2 cars. It really gets to take that debt and not make one person responsible for all of it anymore, right? If one person wants to buy 10 cars, that's up to them. But there may be some limit to what they want to buy. But I find more people and I get more cars. And I find people with other situations that are not looking for investment opportunities, but really looking for relief. Like, I found that I've got a few people who got divorced and wound up with their spouse's car because it was in their name, and they've got nothing to do with it, right? The car's underwater, so what do they do with it? Any amount of money every month is good. So this is a good way to minimize the burn. And in many cases, I'm covering their payments and more. I'm not subject to vehicle depreciation anymore. I'm not taking my credit limits or credit lines up to the max. I can use credit lines for growth on other things, like spending money on labor, having, working capital for things. Was a good opportunity for me to grow my fleet with a lot less personal risk and spreading the risk over a lot of people. So all the investors, they don't have much risk either because they only have 1, 2, 3, 4 cars.
Yeah.
Right? But you put together 5 of those investors, we have 20 cars.
I also wanted to know how Brian got most of his investors for his co-hosting operation.
I've gotten some cars, through word of mouth, through other people. Turo put me in a program called the Passive Income Hosting Program, PIHP program. So every so often, sometimes there's a lot in a month, sometimes there's very few in a month, or even none in a month. They'll send me a lead for a vehicle, so someone who's contacted them to help with hosting. And like just yesterday, I got a lead for a Volvo XC90. So they pair me with vehicle owners, and we get cars like that. And also have a website, passiveincomecars.com. We have a form that you fill out. It tells you all about how we do things. But yeah, we've had some people Google us and find us on the website and come through that way. Yeah. And we can take cars from anywhere. We'll have cars shipped. I had a Kia K5, which was one of my best cars over the summer, shipped from Santa Cruz, California. Got here in 2 days. Was on there on Turo a day later, and it's been out renting. Unfortunately, it's got a recall, but yeah.
There were a ton of things that I took away from my 48-hour visit with Brian and his team. But I gotta be honest, there are 2 things that shine through more than anything else. And that is just how meticulous Brian is with his team, his staff, his customers, and his cars, but also just how customer service oriented Brian is. Brian will do anything to get a 5-star review, he's extremely on top of customer service, and he genuinely does want to provide the absolute best experience that he can with his guests. And whenever I left Seattle, it was very clear to me why Turo uses Brian as an example of what a great host is. I want to thank Brian and his team for having HP and I out to Seattle. And if you guys want to learn how you can co-host with Brian, you can check out his website at www.passiveincomecars.com. The link will be down in the description below.